So we have got 112 people are on the session, which is a fantastic number. So welcome to everybody to tonight's session. The title of tonight's webinar is From Exams to Employment: How to Land a Job Once You've Qualified. And we'll be hearing from two of our students who have gone through the journey with Learning People and landed their job. And we host regular webinars here at Learning People, some with industry leaders, some thought leaders. But the my favourite webinars to host are when we meet our students, and just to hear all about what their experience was like, some of the challenges, some of the good bits, and where they are now. So we'll come on to that. Just a little bit of housekeeping. So my name's John. I'm head of marketing here at Learning People. You may have heard when you came in that we're recording tonight's session. So if you do have to drop off, then we'll send you a recording of our email tomorrow. We've got 60 minutes and it's an interactive session, so please make the most of it being interactive and ask any questions you want, either to the students who we're going to introduce you to, or Mark, who's our head of education as well. Um, but throughout this session, what do we want you to learn from it? What do we want you to get out of it? We want you to understand what it's actually like to be a student with the Learning People. What experience do you actually get, and how challenging is it securing a job at the end of it? We launched Learning People 15 years ago, so we are kind of industry leaders in the market of online education. We've supported over 50,000 students around the world. So we're based in Brighton, in the UK, and then we have homes in Australia and also in New Zealand. But we offer globally leading certifications, and we're partnered with the biggest industry bodies in the world to deliver those. But we're all about student success. It's all about gaining the best outcomes for you. We have a 97% employment success rate with our career services teams. But we will hold your hand if needed, right the way through from your initial inquiry with us, from to a career consultation to understand where you are, what you're looking for, until you enroll with us, and then throughout your studies, right the way through employment. And to back that statement up, we're joined by two students, Roumina and Catherine, which thank you so much for joining us tonight. Roumina, if I start with you, do you want to give us a little intro into who you are and your journey with Learning People?
Yeah, perfect. So, hi everyone, my name is Roumina, and my background is originally in architecture. So, that is where I initially developed an interest in how projects come together, not just from a design perspective, but sort of from the coordination side of things. And then I found Learning People. So, I started my journey with them, and I did three courses. So, it was APM Project Foundation, Agile PM Foundation, and Change Management. And I passed all my exams around late autumn last year. And then I landed my job in November, which was really exciting, which is where I'm right now.
Fantastic.
And yeah, so since then, I've been working as a junior project manager, and I support with the delivery of projects, coordination, and just working closely with architects as well. So just really transferable. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Thanks, Romina. That's great. So we're going to dig a lot deeper into that and your journey and the certifications you did. What was it like with the interview process? All of that. I think Catherine's just well, we lost her. So when Catherine comes back on, we'll speak to Catherine. But I think Mark, who is would you like to intro yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Mark Wheeland. I'm the head of education at Learning People. I've been with the business for 13 plus years, and usually in and around the area of what our students study. Fundamentally, I'm responsible for the key thing, which is our student outcomes. So it's making sure that we have the right courses and certifications and pathways to help people land that dream job that they come to us for originally. I'm responsible for the student care team who support students as they work their way through the pathways, and the career services team who then help people with that, finding the job when they get there and kind of getting that outcome that they were looking for. So happy to be here tonight. I'll be in the background on the question and answer stuff. John O's said that he might throw to me at any point just to keep me on my toes. So you may well see me pop up again a bit later on, depending on how the Q&A goes. Barely my typing ability is probably not as good as Charlie, who's also on the Q&A. So I'll be in the background listening on.
Thank you, Mark. I'd really like to keep Mark on his toes throughout, so please throw some very challenging questions his way.
Yeah,
Here we
thank
go.
you, John. Yeah, I'll mute myself now because you don't want to hear me typing, uh, and I'll
Great.
catch you.
Perfect timing as well. Thanks, Mark. Catherine, can you hear us all right?
Yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi just totally died. We just moved into a new house and it is not reliable. But I'm back
Well,
now.
that's great. It's great to have you back. It's absolutely perfect timing as well. So, did you want to give us an intro about your kind of your journey with the learning people, who you are, what you're doing now?
Yeah, sure. So hopefully my Wi-Fi will cooperate. So sorry. But yeah, so my name's Catherine. Hi, everybody. I did the certified ethical hacker pathway with the learning people. So I started in January 2025 and finished in August 2025. So that was, I did three courses with that. So that was, they're all CompTIA. So I did A plus, Network plus, and Security plus, and then finished that. And now I got a job as a technical support specialist, second line for a Scottish and Northern Irish software company.
Fantastic. Wow. So you started in January and you completed your studies by August.
Yeah. Mhm.
So just before we dig a bit deeper into that, how many hours a week did you study? How much time could you put in?
I mean, I was in a very, very fortunate position where I was able to do it full time. So I probably did about 30 to 35 hours a week. So I was full time in it every day, doing both this and practical courses as well.
Okay, cool. That's good. It's good for everyone to get a gauge on kind of, this. It's when you enroll with us, you don't just land a job. You obviously do have to put the work in, and 35 hours a week is a lot of hours. But obviously the outcome is the one that we wanted. So we'll come on to that in a mo. We're going to do a poll. So we've got a series of polls for everyone to answer. So the poll to begin with, here we are. Where are you on your journey? So we've got, I haven't started, I'm studying exams are lined up. I've started my job search, attending job interviews, and I've landed a job. So whilst everybody's answering that, I'm just going to go through a few industry stats. Um, if you are completely new to learning people, so we specialize in technology, tech, and project management. So with all of the IT kind of certifications in that, with AI, data, cloud computing, coding, cybersecurity is a huge one. And the demand for cyber just continues to rise. So this is saying with 43% of businesses and 30% of charities in the UK experienced a cyber breach or attack in the past year, the demand for certified cyber professionals is only set to increase. The cybersecurity sector directly employs over 67,000 people, which is an increase of 11% from last year. And obviously, the more that we integrate AI into our day-to-day work and just lifestyle, there's more risks of cyber attacks as well. I mentioned data there. 48% of UK businesses need more data professionals. The average salary for a position like this is around £53,000. And then from a project management perspective, there are currently over 24,000 job ads for project managers live on adzuna.com with a huge infrastructure projects in the UK inflating job demand across the nation. And this is globally as well. Throughout Australia and New Zealand, there's a big push for the Brisbane Olympics that are coming up. There's lots of kind of construction jobs, but obviously project management is used within every sector, not just construction, which is what most people typically think of. And then AI, 65% of skills needed for existing jobs will have changed by 2030 due to AI, according to a Pearson report showing demand for professionals with recent AI skills and training. I think every job is pretty much developing AI in some format, whether it be to speed up processes, to help you think, come up with ideas. The more and more of us are using AI in our daily lives. So, do we have the answers to the polls? Has that popped up? There we go. So, where are you on your journey to finding a job? 16% I haven't started yet. 39%, which is the majority, I'm studying, exams are lined up. 36% have started my job search, actively applying. And then 6% I'm attending job interviews. Best of luck. 3% I've landed a job. Huge congratulations to you. That's good. It's good to get a gauge of where everybody is at on their journey with us. So, we'll have another poll shortly. So, let's dive a bit deeper into these questions. So this first section is we're going to talk about our alumni. So what it's like when you've graduated as well. So Catherine, if we continue with you, let's go to the start. Why did you choose to get into IT to begin with, and specifically cybersecurity?
I used to work in the third sector. So I used to work in charities. I was a policy officer. So completely different line of work entirely. But I realized that it's not a lot of progression in the third sector. Um, and I really wanted to be able to grow. Wanted to be able to try loads of different things. And IT and cybersecurity in particular really allows for that. Like as soon as you get a foot in the door, there's so many different things that you can do. And that's really what appealed to me about it. And also I wanted a job where it's it's like puzzles. You're like fixing things all the time, and it's very satisfying, and you're continuously learning and progressing. Um, yeah, I think that's what drew me to it in the first instance.
Have you always been a problem solver and like kind of solving puzzles from a young age?
I think so, yeah. And I hadn't really thought about it that way until I'd gone away and tried different jobs and worked in different areas and realized what was no really working for me. And yeah, one of my very good pals did learning people as well and did changed into cybersecurity from an entirely different career as well. And it really inspired me. And I thought that sounds fun. It sounds interesting. It's a good opportunity to learn a lot. Yeah, so I decided to go ahead and enroll in this course.
So you were recommended by a friend who'd enrolled with Learning People and gone through the journey as well, and that was the
Mhm.
reason why you found Learning People, was it?
Ah, yeah.
Great. It's great to hear that as well. So did you know about the salaries within IT? Was that a driver as well?
Definitely. Yeah, it was definitely a contributing factor, especially coming from third sector where there's not a lot of increase in salary in that way. And wasn't really aware of how much higher it was until started working with learning people and was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that that was a possibility or somewhere that I could get to. So yeah, it was definitely a contributing factor. It definitely helped.
So and obviously with the growing demand as well, there's going to be a lot of room for climbing the ladder as the demand continues to increase.
Mhm.
So in terms of talking about your studies, um, how did they prepare you for the job market? What did your course cover most that actually mattered into what you're doing today? Because I know that you studied your CEH and you're in an IT role. So from your certifications, what covered? What was the most important part, would you say?
It gave me a really good foundation of IT because, as I say, I'd never done IT a day in my life before. I'd never done anything computer related at all. So it gave me a really good foundation in how does a computer actually work? Like we use them every day, but like how do they um, actually work? And like you can't secure a computer, you can't work in security if you don't actually know the fundamentals. So I think that was the main takeaway that I got from the courses of how they actually work, and now I'm able to build on that knowledge from there.
It's interesting, isn't it? As you say, you need to break it down. How does a computer actually work? And once you understand that, the processes behind it, then you can kind of safeguard it as well. And then, Romina, bringing you in here, could you want to just tell us why you chose project management?
Yeah, so I think for me, I really wanted a role with responsibility and something where I could continuously learn and grow and just be directly involved in real projects. So I've always been on the design aspect of things, but I think for me, I just really like organizing tasks, putting people together, communicating with stakeholders, and I thought this would be a really good transition for me. And again, there's a lot of transferable skills that I've taken from architecture into this. And yeah, so far I've been loving it. So it's been going really well.
And the same questions in terms of with the certifications that you studied, what area was the most important to take into your role or even actually applying for interviews?
Yeah, so I guess again, like Catherine said, it's built up a really good foundation for me in terms of project life cycles, how things start to middle to finish, and again, sort of softwares as well. So a lot of the things that I learned, I've been able to use it in Microsoft Project, Monday.com, a lot of transferable things, and again, just sort of communication with stakeholders, because I think my role before was a lot of behind the scenes, but now it's speak to this client, speak to that supplier. So I think a lot of that I gained from my course, which has been very helpful. So yeah.
And then do you want to tell us about your role now, a junior project manager? So you said
Yes.
that you deliver projects and help on coordination. Can you tell us a bit more about what that role entails?
Yeah. So we're in the design industry and we have three companies within one. So we have architects, we have construction, we have furniture, and we have PMs in each role. So as of now, I'm specializing in the furniture side of things. And so we get handed over a project, we sit down with the architect, the construction team, we go over everything. So there's a list of it's like a Gantt chart and we go over the project and then we have one section at the end. So we sort of wait for their processes to be done and then we go into the furniture side and then we start contacting the suppliers, the other contractors, and then we just sort of bring everything to life, if that makes sense.
So yeah, it does definitely. It's I find these charts really insightful in terms of what do you do day to day. So you mentioned
Yeah.
Gantt charts there as well. What's the setup like? Is it hybrid or do you have an office?
We have an office, so it's one day working from home and then the rest in the office, which I actually prefer. I think I gain a lot more being around sort of like-minded people, easier access to things, and it's a really nice environment here as well. So yeah, it's nice. It's a nice balance.
It's always nice to be around people as much as it's nice to kind of sit at home in your pajamas as well and
Yeah, but
do
it's
the
still
hoovering
nice
when you
to
get a
be
chance.
here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that. And then what have you found challenging about it?
Um, I think for me, I do like communicating with different people, but I think it is very different to what I was used to. So instead of sort of emailing all the time, I've realized I've had to actually pick up the phone and call these people because it's just quicker that way. I think I'm learning to do that more now, and just become more confident on the phone, speaking to people I've never met, um, and also going on site, having to make decisions on the spot as well, because that can sometimes be a bit stressful. You don't want to get anything wrong, but I think you just have to think on your feet and just stay calm under pressure. So I've been learning to do that.
So what kind of decisions do you have to make on the spot?
So, for example, a client might not be happy with what's been given to them, and I have to decide whether we take it back and bring in like a loan piece of furniture, or another example I can think of. So we deal with power as well. So cable management, grommets on the floor. So if the cutout's been done wrong on the floor, I have to think on the spot, okay, what do I do here? Who do I contact? Who can I bring in to just sort of sort this out for them and just make sure the client's happy? So yeah, it's a lot of thinking on the spot.
So you have to be calm under pressure as well to make those
Definitely,
decisions.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. And then, Catherine, there's a question coming to you, but in terms of the role you're in, can you talk about what's exciting and some of the challenges that you face as well?
Yeah, sure. I think the most exciting part for me is a lot of troubleshooting. So part of my job is on the IT help desk. So I work with customers that use the software that the organization that I work for makes. So if they have issues with that, I do a lot of problem solving, troubleshooting with them. But I also do a lot of behind the scenes, like database management, which might not sound very exciting, but I actually love it. I think it's great. I really enjoy that. In terms of the challenges, I think. coming from, as I say, like having never worked in IT before, that is in itself a massive challenge. Because you come across folk who have worked in it their entire lives and have been around computers their entire lives and used them a lot, so they know things by heart, whereas I really don't. So it's learning from the ground up. But it means you're learning all the time and you're continuously growing, which I enjoy as well.
Yeah, I'm very much the same as you. As long as you're being challenged, you're learning, and that's
Mhm.
when your job's exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm exactly the same. Right, there's a question here from someone who hasn't put their name, but thanks for the question for Catherine. Did you find it tricky finding a job being based in Scotland? I'm doing a project management pathway, live in Scotland, and I'm worried I won't find a suitable role local to me. I mean, obviously you've got a job in IT, but can you answer that?
Yeah. Because it was a question that I had when I first joined the Learning People, actually. I asked, like, I'm from Scotland, like, what opportunities are there up here? But actually, there is a lot going on up here. I mean, I can't speak so much to project management but for IT and like specifically cybersecurity, the Central Belt of Scotland is one of the fastest growing areas in the UK when it comes to jobs in that sector. So yeah, I didn't really struggle with it, but I guess that's a good thing about being work from home. You can work from anywhere. Your organization can be based anywhere, but I guess that depends what you want. If you do want to have an office, maybe it's different, but and lots of adverts in that regard.
Yeah, it's obviously it very much depends on what you want, your skill set and who you're applying for. But Mark's got his hand up very politely.
Thanks, John. We've had quite a few questions come in around when people can start working with the career services team, because obviously that's a key part of progressing on to your role. We always say to people, pass your first exam, and at that stage, career services have something to work with. If you like, you've done something, you've progressed. So, and we automatically connect you to career services once we know you've passed your first exam. Um, but as with everything in life, it's a competitive world out there. So, the more certifications you've done, the, uh, the more chance you have of standing out to employers. And obviously, the greater your knowledge is, so the more confident you are in the interview process, the more you have to write about on your CV. So it's a balance, but career services is a process. So you want to kind of refine what you're doing, but you can start working with them once you pass your first exam, and that's and then continuously, in fact, to be honest with you. So it could be, we have people that come back a year and a half after their first job because they're looking for another one, or there's an internal post that they're looking to apply for, and they come back and get some extra help from the career services team. But first time round, pass an exam, and then you're automatically connected to the career services team. And there was another question for Catherine, which was around when did you kind of get your job? How long was the gap between when you kind of started working in career services and when you actually got your job?
So I started applying for jobs end of August. Um, and I got my job within 3 weeks and started beginning of October. So it was a very rapid transition like that. But I think I started working with career services a wee bit earlier, just in terms of getting ready, but I didn't start applying until after I was finished Security Plus.
I think that there's another point now for people, which is that um, again, it's not all that's a great story, and we should probably just stop there and tell everyone that they get a job after. But it's not always the case. We have students who have to go through the same things everyone does, of making lots of applications, having a few interviews sometimes before they get that job, because it's depending where you are and what the job is, it's not one size fits all kind of thing with that. But yeah, hopefully that answers a lot of the questions that were on people's minds. So I'll drop out again, Jono, and
Yeah, no, thanks, Mark. And what you said that about certifications, we say certifications are your currency to employment. and you can say firsthand from Catherine and Romina with their certifications. I'm just going to ask a question around the poll, and then we'll come to Romina. So the second poll, what do you think is or will be the most difficult part of your job search? So that will appear imminently. And then we'll go back to Romina. Can you tell us about when you started working with career services and then what that process was like?
Yeah, so I actually waited until I finished all three of my courses because I just wanted to sort of get that out the way. Then I could focus on careers, applying for jobs. So I had Sophie, so I was working with Sophie, amazing. And I did three masterclasses with her. So it was based around CV, networking, and interview prep. So it was really nice that it was in three parts. And it was really detailed. It was an hour sort of call with other people as well, very interactive. And every time I had an interview, I'd literally call Sophie and say, Sophie, oh my gosh, I've got I've got an interview lined up. Can you please help me? And then we literally go through a bunch of questions, work on it together. So yeah, it was really, really beneficial. And it wasn't just, when you finish something and then it's like it's just done, but it wasn't like that. She was literally there with me throughout the whole process of finding a job. So it was really, really good.
Well, that's great, and that's exactly what career services are there for, to obviously
Yeah.
help you, support you, revamp your CV, and help you connect on LinkedIn, and just immerse yourself in the industry, but just also as a support and somebody to talk to. Did you get many pushbacks from interviews, Romina? And did you find that part of just applying challenging in any way?
Yeah, I think I got about, I'd say, nearly eight rejections before I got this job. And it is a bit daunting sometimes because it feels like, what is the point at some point? Because I just keep doing the same thing and nothing's coming through. But I think the main thing is you have to be proactive and just constantly look for new opportunities and network. So what I was doing, which Sophie told me to actually, every time I apply for a job, I'd go on LinkedIn and follow the people in the same industry as me in that company, just to sort of see what they're posting, um, and what they're talking about on their posts. And I was trying to post about my sort of experiences as well, just really trying to get myself out there. And I didn't let the rejection stop me. I kind of used that as a drive to keep going. So definitely keep going.
And I think that's great advice for everybody, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
hard work, and it can be a minefield out there. But if you've got certification to support that, to obviously give you a bit of confidence as well. But obviously, you know your stuff because you've been certified. Just keep going, keep trying, and the more you apply for people, the more interviews you had, the more experience you're actually gaining at the same time as well. Um, this is a great question from Jackson. This is for Catherine. Says, I was wondering, she mentioned that she hadn't really done IT before she did the course with the learning people, and I feel I'm in a similar situation with the data analyst course that I'm learning. I hadn't really done it before. What was your mindset during it and pushing you forward to complete it, even though it was hard and it was something new?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I just really enjoyed it. Like I really enjoyed it because it was entirely new, so I didn't feel like I didn't feel self-conscious about it or anything like that. I was just like, I am fresh to this. This is great. Like I am starting from zero. Um, and every time you sit down to watch a video or read the books that you get for the courses or whatever, you're learning something new. And that kept me going, I think, through it, and also mixing it up a little bit as well. Like if you're doing, I hope my Wi-Fi is working, by the way.
It
Um,
cuts out for a second, but then carries on. But the sound quality is exceptional.
okay, well,
Yeah.
that's good. Okay, I'll keep going then. In that case, when I was doing the courses, what kept me going as well was mixing it up. So you're doing like the courses as well, but sprinkling in if you're doing cybersecurity or whatnot, using different platforms like Try Hack Me or Let's Defend, like they give you practical hands-on experience of doing it, like having and being able to put what you're learning into practice like that. I found that really good, and it keeps you motivated to keep because you're getting better at it and you can see your progress. So I think doing things like that as well, if there's a possibility to do that is good.
And so it did cut out though. Was that about the practice labs?
Yeah, doing the practice labs that you get with the course as well, but also doing extra ones as well. So like Try Hack Me and Let's Defend. I think they were the ones that I was talked about when I started with the learning people to have a wee go at like trying doing security things, and having that practical experience was really fun, and it's like putting what you're doing into practice, which is great.
Yeah, fantastic. Right, a couple more questions coming in. This one's to Romina. You mentioned you are in a junior PM role. Currently looking for the same position, but I've realised most positions require some sort of experience in the industry. How did you overcome this? Which obviously touches on having the certifications. But did you feel that affected your mindset by not having previous experience? Or you said that there was lots of transferable skills as well?
There were a lot of transferable skills, but I was definitely nervous going into those interviews because I thought there could be someone else that has those skills already and I don't. But I definitely didn't let that stop me from still going to the interviews. But funny enough, the interview that I went to for this role that I'm in now, they gave me a call after and they said, you don't tick all the boxes, but we like your personality and the soft skills that you have. So they were like, we're definitely prepared to train you to get to a point where we feel like you can be a PM rather than a junior, but let's just start as a junior and work your way up. So I definitely think soft skills are just as important, um, and personality as well, because the other stuff can be, you can train. So yeah.
Yeah, which again is great advice, and it's a lovely segue into the next section because we're talking about actionable advice to current students and job seekers. And the first question we're going to ask was what were the skills that employers actually look for? So we'll come back to that shortly. So the results of the second poll. What do you think is and will be the single most difficult part of landing your new job? And it's a fairly even split. So 15% say passing exams and getting certifications. 20% say just networking in general, 18% CV and LinkedIn profile creation, 24%, which is the majority, say interviewing, which is no surprise. Interviewing is going to be the scariest part from my perspective. General confidence, 12%, and then other 11%. But that's a really interesting poll, split across the board. But I would say for me, there's not a single thing there which wouldn't be a little bit daunting. They're all things a bit daunting that you're going to have to overcome, obviously put effort in, but the more that you do it, the better that you get it. As you say, practice makes perfect. So, Catherine, following on from what Romina said in terms of soft skills, was this an area that you found employers were looking for, or your employer specifically?
Oh yeah, 1000%. I think the certifications and having that in the back pocket is what got me the interview, but I think what got me the job is soft skills for sure. Especially in IT, like it's very like there's like the stereotype of like the geeky people who like don't talk to other people, and that was true for the organization that I worked for, and they're like you have communication skills, great. So it like really something that I found really helpful was, and what I try to remember as well, is that if you're coming from a different career, you already have so many skills that people are looking for. So really do lean on that, because I found that is what got me in the door, was having experience with people and being having communication skills and problem solving and things like that. It doesn't all have to be the technical side, because as like Romina said, you can be taught all that. But having the soft skills coming in is really, really helpful.
And then eight from that poll, 18% of people said networking as their answer. Did you do much networking whilst you were studying as part of the career services process?
I didn't really, to be honest. I really had my friend that I mentioned who'd moved into cybersecurity. I had that network in that sense, and was able to get a lot of inspiration and help from him. But I didn't do a lot of reaching out like that. It's not really in my in my wheelhouse to do. But the help we got from learning people in the course around it was really great, but I didn't put that into practice, no.
Well, that's interesting to hear because people say obviously it's who you know as well, and networking is a big part of it. But I think networking obviously helps to immerse yourself into industry, and if you go to events and you can meet people there, but it shows you don't need to network as well to get a job because you didn't do much networking. How about you, Romina? Did you do much networking?
Not really. I tried it. I tried to send out messages on LinkedIn, but I don't really think it's my thing. But I definitely do think if you are very outgoing, and you're really confident, I think definitely do try it and go into events as well. I think it's really helpful. So I wish I could do it more, but yeah,
And what did you, Romina, staying with you, when you
yeah,
were applying for roles and getting interviews, did you tweak your CV as you were applying for interviews and got the pushbacks? And what
yeah.
worked well for you?
So I used AI a lot actually to help me. So what I would do is I would put in the job description into AI and then I'd put in my CV as well. And I'd basically ask to see what I can do to tailor my bullet points to make it specific to that job role. And when I started doing that, I realized I was getting more feedback, more people were getting back to me, rather than just having a generic CV. So I definitely think that does help a lot. So I'd recommend 100%.
And was that similar for you, Catherine?
I for sure want exactly the same. Like I remember working with Chelsea and she recommended like when you run it through ChatGPT or whatever, say like how does this compare or how does this align with ATS? So it means
Yeah.
that if they're using, I'm actually not sure what that stands for. I want to say a screening something or other, but it's the AI that employers might use to screen your CV and make sure it aligns with the job description. And I found that really, really helpful, just saying like, how does this align? And it gives you like a percentage and it'll highlight where any gaps are and things like that. That was super, super helpful for the applications.
And how much did you immerse yourself on LinkedIn, Catherine?
I used LinkedIn more than I ever had before, but I used it a lot for not so much for the networking side, but for the actual application side, so finding jobs. And I got like LinkedIn Premium for a little bit because I never had that before, but that was really good as well. You see things that you might not otherwise see, so it's worth giving. Like I think you get like a free month or something like that. Having a wee go at that. It gives you a lot more opportunities than you might otherwise see.
It's interesting to say the amount of jobs and where people are actually posting jobs, and the majority do seem to be on LinkedIn at the moment. So for that reason alone, it's great. And then, Ramina, you said that you would reach out to some people on LinkedIn. Are you a big LinkedIn user?
I try to be. So like Catherine, I also got LinkedIn Premium and it's really good because it allows you to send out more messages when you're premium, I think. So that definitely helped. I did get some responses, so I think it was working. So yeah, but I do definitely want to be more active on there even now, just for my progression in my career. So yeah.
And is there anything, which this might be the answer to that, is there anything that you would do differently, um, again, or any words of warning for anyone as they're going through, obviously they're journeying with learning people, their studies, but also then applying for jobs? What would you have changed, Ramina?
I wish I started sooner. So when I passed my first exam, I just wish that I started looking, instead of being a bit cautious. I think I wasn't as confident yet because I thought, okay, I've only done one. Maybe if I do the two, I'll be more confident. But I think having that foundation would have allowed me to do these interviews. So yeah, just starting a bit earlier, having more confidence in myself. And I feel like you always know more than you think. Um, so yeah, just having more confidence. I'd definitely say that.
And did certification help back that up?
Definitely. I think even for this role, they mentioned that a lot of people don't have these certificates, and they were willing to sort of invest time in me into going to do these courses, but they realized that I've already done it. So they said that you already have that advantage. So I think that possibly made me stand out. So yeah,
Yeah, and so it sounds like it fast tracked you through that process as well, and
definitely.
yeah, which is great to hear. And same question to you, Catherine.
Sorry, do you mind repeating that? I think it dropped for a second.
Yeah, so the same question in terms of would you have changed anything? Although you secured a job within 3 weeks after applying, I don't know how, what you could really change to speed that up. But was there anything in terms of the journey?
Yeah, I think it's similar to what Romina said. Like, I wish I'd had more confidence in myself or had more like known the value of the experience that I already had and the skills that I already had because it's intimidating. It's very scary, like changing career and you doing all that kind of stuff and retraining. So having, yeah, just be like, no, and I've got a lot of skills and things already, and I can learn X, Y, and Z. But I also think on a more practical side as well, I wish I'd started doing like practical labs and things a bit earlier as well, because just putting things into practice, because it's great having the theory, but ha having it in practice as well, and having that alongside your studies is really good. And I wish I'd done that a wee bit earlier.
Yeah, so just start as soon as you can. I guess is the message. Don't delay, and everybody has these fears. But just get started. We've got another poll question coming up, but this is a question from Gary to both of you. Just before well, please go ahead and answer that poll question. Um, and it's completely unplanned, so it'll be interesting to get your answers on this. Gary says, a question for Catherine and Romina. Do you feel you have achieved the salary expectations in your first roles compared to those from your initial conversations with learning people? Also, are you doing any further studying? So a couple of questions there. Catherine, do you want to answer that?
Hi, that's a good question. Not yet, but I think I'm on the way because I'm not quite in cybersecurity yet. I'm technical support, so that is a different field. I guess it's very similar, but it's not quite where I want to be yet. But at the same time, it is more than I've ever earned before, so that is a great side to it. Can you remind me the second half of the question? Sorry.
Yeah, are you doing any other studying alongside your work at the moment?
Yeah, I'm not at the moment, but I really would like to get back into it because I'm 4 months into my current job and it just feels like continuous learning all the time that I didn't feel that I wanted to take on additional things, but I would like to at some point. I'd like to do some sequel courses and things like that, but we'll get to that eventually.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, is that now you're in your role and you're learning and gaining more experience all the time. Then that you
hmm
would expect the
Yeah.
salaries obviously to increase with experience. And Ramina, how about you in terms of salary expectations?
Yeah, so same as Catherine. Obviously, I've started as a junior. It's naturally going to be a bit less, but I think compared to other junior roles that I've had, it's a lot more. So I think when I was in architecture, I was a part one, it was capped. So there was only a certain amount that I could get. But I think for what I'm earning as a junior, I would definitely say it's really good. And obviously I will work my way up and I know what I can get to. Which is also another reason why I wanted to get into project management. And in terms of doing further studies, I definitely do want to, but probably not now. I feel like there's a lot going on at work, and I'm trying to soak it all in. So I think once I sort of grasp the processes and everything that I'm doing now, I think I definitely do want to continue studying. So yeah.
It's quite a lot, obviously, to go through what you've done with your studies, but the both of you, and then obviously get jobs. You've got to be on form in your new roles, haven't you? So to continue
Yeah.
studying is a lot, but I'm sure there'll be a point when you're like, okay, I'm ready now. Right, poll question, which I'm sure you've all answered. There we go. That will come up with the answer in a minute. There we go. Thank you, Robin and Charlie. So, how confident do you feel about achieving your career goals at this stage? 15%, very much so. I know what I have to do. 45% somewhat. Have a plan but need guidance. That is what we're here for. 19% are neutral. I'm unsure about the next steps. 14% not very. I feel I need more skills or experience. And then 6% not at all. I feel overwhelmed, which again, it's a very valid answer because there's so much choice out there. So where do you start? But I would say with all of these questions, if you're not feeling certain areas that you're not feeling confident in, that's when we would say to reach out to career services, who will help you with that because um, again, all of these things are so daunting. But from the experience that we've heard from Catherine and Romina, they were maybe didn't have the confidence, but actually, with their soft skills and everything else, it was exactly what employers were looking for, and you just don't know until you start applying. Cool. So as we move into the next section, we have covered lots of this already, but this section is about mindset and motivation. We've spoken about challenges and setbacks. But just to kind of reiterate that, Romina, from your setbacks and rejections, what advice would you give to everyone?
Um, I wouldn't, to be fair, I wouldn't really call it rejection. I just think it's redirection. And in a way, it should give you that driving force to just keep going. And it always works out in the end. And I think every rejection, every interview that I went to just gave me new ideas on what to speak about in my next interview. So there were times where I literally didn't want to go to an interview anymore. And I thought, no, this is just practice. Even if I don't get the job, I'm practicing for my next one. So I think just keep going, have that motivation, and just have that end goal in mind. You're doing this for a reason. So yeah, just you will definitely get there.
I love that. Rejection is redirection.
Exactly.
That is a great line. How didn't you talk about motivation? How did you stay motivated? You had that goal in mind.
Yeah, so I actually love self-help books. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, podcasts, and I think that definitely helped calm my nerves. I think even doing exams, I was nervous at times, um, but I just had to keep my calm, and I realized I have to be like that in my role as well. So this is good practice for me to sort of learn how to calm my nerves, stay steady, and again, these are transferable into my role. So yeah.
And then Catherine, in terms of you said you were studying around 30 odd hours a week, more than that sometimes. How did you stay motivated when you have to study constantly?
Um, it's a good question. I just really enjoyed it. It really was inherently motivating for me because I felt like I was continuously learning things that I'd never heard of before and trying to like puzzle things together. That for me is motivating. And I think what was also really helpful for me was having somebody who'd already been through the process, who was doing the exact same thing as me and had got to the end goal. That kept me going. I'm like, okay, he's done it. I can do it too. And like being having somebody to chat to about it, I think was really, really helpful. It gives you just like, okay, it's gonna be fine. Remain calm. I think that was really one of the best things to have during the whole process.
It's nice if you have somebody that you can be motivated by. It's like when you're going for a run and you're running with someone, you kind of run at the same pace. And then so if you can find that, then that's great. Um, Romina, didn't ask you in terms of your hours of study, did you fit it around, say, previous work, or how much time did you dedicate per week?
So a lot less than Catherine. So I was working at the time. So I had to find a balance and sort of manage my time. So I'd come back from work, I'd get in at like 5, and then I'd set myself 3 hours a day. That's and it took me a year to complete my course, and I knew that would happen because I was working at the same time. But I think just staying organized is so key. So I made myself like a little timetable, and yeah, I think that definitely helped me keep organized, but just a lot less than Catherine. So less hours. Yeah.
Would it be typically on a weekend, or do you do an hour in the evening, an hour another evening?
Yeah. So I do it like sometimes Mondays and then Wednesdays, Fridays. So I'll just swap. And then obviously on the weekends, I do longer hours because I had more free time. Um, but yeah, trying to find a balance between work and studies is definitely possible.
Yeah, and it is finding that balance, isn't it? And then
Yeah.
when you sat your exams, was probably motivation to then go on to the next one as well.
Yeah, so when I passed my first one, I said, okay, I've done this now, on to the next one. And it definitely does motivate you because you do sometimes question yourself, am I doing well? Am I revising well? But I think after the first one, I was just ready to go. I was definitely doing more hours for the second one and the third one. So yeah.
And then did you have any outside support from anyone? Was there any point where it was like, I can't do this anymore? And someone said, yes, you can, or was it you were passing the
My
exams and thought, right, go on, get on to the next one. Sorry.
Yeah, no, my mom and my friends, to be honest. There were times where I just thought, oh God, I don't know if I can do this anymore. But they just kept saying, remember the end goal, remember what you want to do, just push yourself, you can do it, and you can definitely do it.
And was it the same for you, Catherine?
Yeah, definitely. 'Cause there's inevitably going to be moments when you're like, I don't know if I can keep going, but just chatting to folk like your friends and family around you to encourage you to keep going. And yeah, it's what you're right, Ramina. Like as soon as you first pass the first one, it's like, okay, I'm locked in. I can keep going now.
And then another question for Romania, but would be good for both of you. So, Romania, if you can start studying for PM and I've passed three exams, two more to come, but I'm worried about the application of what I've learned for a potential role. How did you find applying what you'd learned to your job? Could you implement the theory straight away?
Um, I think because it's a junior role, I haven't had the chance to implement all the things that I have learned. But for example, risk assessments and project life cycles, so from the start to finish, I've sort of been implementing those. Um, so yeah, it's been like bits here and there, but definitely not everything just yet. They're slowly introducing me into the processes. So yeah,
And when you kind of get deeper into the role, I'm sure that you will be kind of executing everything that you've learned as well,
definitely.
subliminally without knowing it.
Exactly, yeah.
And then Catherine, same question as well. It's probably, am I right in saying maybe more so with IT when you need to know in terms of the fundamentals of how a machine works? Did you implement your theory and what you practiced?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely like there's things like on my first day somebody said DNS server and I was like, "Oh, I know what that is. I've learned that." Um so there's like the practical things like that, but there also the good thing about the CompTIA certifications is they teach you how to troubleshoot and how to think about problems. And I think that's what I found very helpful from the get-go is like there's a lot of theory around the steps you take to troubleshoot in a analytical, organized way, and being able to implement that immediately was really, really helpful, I think.
And then I'm very conscious of time because we said we had an hour for this session, which we're fast approaching 6 o'clock. So if there's a few more questions to go. Which yeah, someone's come in. I haven't seen. Was that Mo? There was a question around when to Catherine around securing your role. How much of it was led by career services, or was it independent to your research, or combination of both?
It was a bit of both. I'm not sure I quite understand the question. But it was a bit of both in terms of that I found the role, but I got a lot of help from learning people for my application. Like Chelsea read through my CV and everything and compared it to the job advert and things. And then when I got the interview, she helped me a lot with the preparation for that, being able to speak through it with her. And then it was a two-round thing. So when I did the second interview as well, like she supported me a lot with that as well. So it was really, really helpful just having somebody who's there with you and can give you so much advice and an objective perspective on what you're going to say and what you've written and things. So yeah, it was a wee bit of both.
Great. And then Romina, you've spoken about say your experience as well with Sophie, your career services consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she was just there when you needed and kind of supported you as much as Catherine said. It's a bit of both.
Yeah, definitely. So I found this role as well, but as soon as I found it, literally told Sophie, she gave me a bunch of prep questions for my interview, spoke about it. We looked through their LinkedIn, their website, dissected everything from the business, and then yeah, so literally just helped me apply, tailor my CV, interview prep, all of it. Yeah.
Great. And then so last section, which just to round everything off. Um, well, let's talk about, say, advice to give to others. Obviously, there's from the polls we've learned that people are have fears over certain areas, which of course we all do. So, one piece of advice from each of you that you would say if people are thinking about enrolling with us, what should they do? And also about applying for work, what should they do? Do you want to start, Catherine?
Yeah, I think for the applications, for your job applications, lean on what you've already got. Like you've already got so much experience, so many skills that are really, really needed, especially in IT, especially when it comes to soft skills, communication, problem solving, things like that. Lean on that. That's great experience. Don't think it's not relevant or whatnot. Like you can tailor it to make it relevant to whatever you're applying for, but like have confidence in that. Like really great stuff that you bring to the table, even if you might feel not so confident in the IT side of things. You can learn that. That's grand. But the soft skills are something you come with uniquely, and that's something you should feel good about and confident with.
And Romina, how about you? What advice would you give to people?
Yeah, I would say everyone starts from somewhere. So don't ever let sort of a lack of experience or fear stop you from doing what you want to do. And I think, like Catherine said, the skills that you have already are transferable. You have the soft skills, they're already there. It's just about sort of gaining extra knowledge in the field that you want to go into. And yeah, and just stay curious, just continuously learn, speak to people, try to network. And yeah, and when it is the right time, you will find that job. And yeah, it will all work out.
That's great. That's great advice. And also, if obviously the majority of people on this session are students with us, pick up the phone and call career services at any time. Have that chat. We've got a alumni platform on LinkedIn as well. So please reach out and engage on there. It's a really active platform to talk about any challenges and just have a chat and meet other students. And then obviously we've got our guides on our websites and we regularly update our blog page with industry news, interview tips, all of the things that you might want support with. We have information on our website for that, which updates daily. Mark again has got his hand up. Welcome to the floor.
Uh, Thank you. I've put my hand down again now. I just want this. We've had so many questions in the Q&A sessions, barely been able to keep up. But one great one, which I think is probably speaks to lots of people, is about Catherine asking both Catherine and Roumina whether they had a case of imposter syndrome at any point and how did they overcome it.
Who wants to take that one?
Shall I go first on that one?
Go
Go
on,
on,
Catherine.
Catherine.
Oh, 1000%. Yeah. Never done IT a day in my life. So it's like, what am I doing here? But yeah, you can learn. You can learn, and I think it's yeah, having the confidence to be able to say, I don't know that. Can you explain it to me? I think that was yeah, I'm still struggling with that. Like I still find that difficult, but yeah, you can learn, and every day you get better and you get faster with things. So it's just having patience with yourself as well to not think I don't need to know everything immediately. I will learn, I will get there, and you'll get there too.
And how about you, Romina?
Yeah, same as Catherine. I think for me, I think I always need to be amazing at something, but I need to just learn to sort of slow down, go through the processes, and just really just soak in everything. And at work, people have been lovely. They've been willing to sort of sit down with me, go through everything, and they understand that I've never done this sort of role before. So I think people are definitely willing to help. And like Catherine said, don't be afraid to ask questions.
And I think most people have suffered from imposter syndrome at some point in their life, whether it be at school, in work, or studies. And it's horrible. But as you can see from Amina and Catherine, they didn't necessarily have the confidence, but they're both in roles, and they got those roles for a reason. They have their certifications and the soft skills to back that up, and then their confidence grows from there. Mark, did you have anything else to add?
Not to that. I think it's the imposter syndrome thing is the single biggest problem for people when they think about changing a career and putting it into action. That kind of confidence gap always exists. It exists when you start to think about whether you should change your career, and then when you first look at your first course, and when you do your first exam, and then when you do your first job application. I think there's always that in the back of everybody's mind. I think and finding strategies, and career services team are good with that to kind of help you with your confidence when you get to the point where you're actually doing those jobs, because they are experts at that. So yeah, I guess trust the process, trust yourself. And talk to the career services team because they'll help.
Well, that's great, and obviously we need to keep reiterating that to speak to the career services team. That's exactly they're there for, to help you overcome things like imposter syndrome. Right, we've hit 7 o'clock, and that hour's absolutely flown by. One final question to both of you. Roumina, you first. Was it worth the investment enrolling with Learning People?
100%, and I would do it again.
Great answer. And then Catherine,
Yeah, for sure.
there you go.
It's one of the best things I've ever done. I'm very, very pleased that I did it.
Definitely.
Well, that's it's all worthwhile. And then I would say that from a marketing perspective, it's my job to make people aware of our products and services, but for people to actually see our ads and then go through that journey, have their consultation, obviously pass exams, which you do have to work for it, and then secure jobs. And it sounds like you're both very happy in your jobs as well. Which, if you're happy in your job, you're happy in life to a certain degree. So thank you so much for your time today. Massive well done on what you've achieved so far, and look forward to hearing from you throughout your journey as well. This won't be the last time that we speak to you. So thanks so much, and
Good
thank
to
you
know.
everyone for joining.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.